Where am I? What happened to my legs? You never had any to begin with, pal. Who said that? Greetings to the deceased being you. Answer me, Pixar. Where am I? Why don't you just have a look around and see for yourself? Rainy skies, dark and gloomy atmosphere, garbage everywhere, a pair of crooked teeth? Oh, I'm in London! No. Okay, whatever. I can tell that I am a ghost right now, which means I probably have some kind of special spectral power now, right? Right on. Which means I gotta use my ghostly powers to possess and manipulate objects to find the reason for my death before sunrise. Just like in Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. Yeah. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is an excellent adventure game for the Nintendo DS, where you use your spectral powers to possess and manipulate objects to prevent the deaths of others. Normally I put you on edge for the first minute or so and make my opinion of the game into some grand reveal rivaling that of the Zodiac Killer's identity or something, but this game was released over a decade ago on a console no longer in production, and I hadn't finished it before, so the only way I'd ever hear about this game being good is if it was a cult classic. No Zodiacs here, the only killer present is Capcom, who didn't put enough marketing into Ghost Trick for it to find success, at least financially. That's the only reason I could think of as to why this game sold as poorly as it did, because it has everything else going for it. It's directed by Shu Takumi, who also led the game's development and writing, and you probably know him as the main guy behind the Ace Attorney series. As for the game itself, it's superb with its own unique charm that makes it stand out even to this day. Right from the get-go, the game hits the ground running and never stops, with an excellent prologue that perfectly establishes your situation and your powers. Firstly, you're dead. Wow, how could you tell? Well, that's your corpse right there. But you don't have time to think about that because a young woman is currently being held at gunpoint and... It's up to you to save her by traveling back in time to 4 minutes before her death and trying to avert it. You'll enter the ghost world, where time is stopped and you can jump between objects and possess them. Then you can return to the real world and use your trick ability to make the objects do stuff. Using your tricks, you can save the girl and many others in the story. This prologue is beyond excellent. I dare say it's perfection. It does everything a good tutorial should, teach you the mechanics and let you work out a solution. But it also ties flawlessly into its narrative, immediately raising the tension and stakes so that you're engaged right from the get-go. Then stringing you along for the ride like a conductor orchestrating a flawless symphony. I really can't stress enough how good Ghost Trick's prologue is. It's one of the best tutorials I've encountered in a video game. It does everything right from a gameplay and plot perspective, and it effortlessly weaves them together as if to say, yeah, you see this shit? There's 10 more hours of this banger content waiting for you, so come and get it, boy. God, this game is so good, and I'm only 15 minutes in. It really makes me feel like a ghost. Say that line again and I'm sending you straight to hell. It's gonna be hard to talk about Ghost Trick without delving deep into spoilers, because basically everything after the first mission can be considered a spoiler. So I will try my best to present the footage out of context and articulate my thoughts in a broader sense. Firstly, the game looks good. Wow, what detailed commentary. Say another quip and I'll crack your light bulb like an egg. It is hard to make things look good on the DS. The thing has the processing power of an early 2000s flip phone hooked up to an electrically charged potato. So usually devs either stick to 2D or attempt 3D graphics. The former usually works out better since polygons on the DS fight back harder than my ass after eating Popeye's chicken. Meanwhile, you got Ghost Trick dual wielding 2D and 3D with immense undeniable strength, just like me, gripping the toilet paper in the seat after eating Popeye's chicken. Every character is bursting with personality. Just one look at them and you can tell who they are as a person. Ghost Trick's environments are also gorgeous, and due to the nature of the game, they're highly interactable too. There's so many memorable spots that it's hard to name them all. There's the junkyard that the game begins in, the office, there's the posh apartment of a romantic novelist. Then there's the chicken kitchen, which is literally a restaurant that serves entire chickens and also has a giant replica chicken hanging from the ceiling. Every location, every character, every silly animation in Ghost Trick oozes with charm and looks good while doing it, especially if you're playing the iOS version. Yeah, the game got ported to iOS in 2012. Shame it never made its way to Android. Speaking of characters, that's another one of Ghost Trick's greatest aspects. It's lively, charismatic, utterly bizarre cast, and the excellent writing backing them up. Now, I've never actually played an Ace Attorney game before. Yes, I know, sue me, considering it. But some of my friends who have played the Ace Attorney games have mentioned just how similar the music, writing, and character designs are between it and Ghost Trick, and yeah, I can see it. When the characters aren't expressing themselves with their dynamic animations, they're winning your heart with their words. Despite tackling the bleak subject of death, the game remains upbeat, sometimes with a witty quip, sometimes with a silly scenario, scenario, and always with words full of hope. There's a lot of lovable goofballs here. Firstly, there's Lynn, a young detective who gets used to dying a bit too much. There's also the cute chicken girl, the dancing security guard, Chad himself, the woman who strikes matches with her ass, the goodest of boys, the greatest man to ever live, and of course our protagonist, Sizzle, cool, witty, and always ready to put himself on the line to save others. It's hard not to like Sizzle. Hell, it's hard to not like any character in this game, honestly. Even who does some pretty heinous things throughout the story. Goddamn, why are the Japanese so good at making me like murderers? The game's soundtrack's got this cryptic tone, but remains catchy and is a joy to listen to. There's a lot of good tracks, but the music that plays when you're in those dire 4 minutes trying to save someone's life, an absolute banger. And then it has a variant that's even better somehow. Finally, let's talk about the actual gameplay itself. I don't have much to say here. You are a ghost. You go back in time 4 minutes. You possess object. You use object. You save life. Not much to say here. Everything works as expected for the most part. And sometimes things work out really strangely thanks to the game's whimsical writing seeping into the gameplay. It allows for some truly zany scenarios to occur. And that's basically Ghost Trick. Charming, weird, its world, characters, and gameplay have all helped it amass a devoted cult following over the years. And yeah, after playing it, I can see why. Your power is that you can swap around objects. Oh, just like... No, not exactly like. You can only swap around hats. Hats. Yeah. Like the thing on my head hats. Yeah. That's it? I'm gonna send you back in time now so you can avert your fate. Bye. Wait. Wow, I can't believe that worked. I don't want a good paying customer to be dead after all. The issues I have with Ghost Trick don't concern the plot at all. I thought the story was excellent, but while I love how the game played out, I do have some issues with how it actually plays. Ghost Trick is all about examining the situation and using your wits to solve a problem, but as the game progresses, it relies increasingly on strict time limits and reflexes. This means a lot more pressing the button at the perfect time moments and less thoughtful examination. It's not the case with every chapter in the game, but these moments are essentially glorified QuickTime events, which aren't too pleasing. Sometimes Ghost Trick throws in some new gameplay styles. Occasionally they're pretty good, like the swapping mechanic, but sometimes they're just downright unfun, like the stealth section. My biggest gripe though with Ghost Trick is that it's a game about trial and error, and yet its puzzles don't always fit with that ideology. Sometimes doing the trial part of the trial and error is just plain frustrating because the solution is a bit too ridiculous. There are times where the solution doesn't give me a feeling of satisfaction, but rather a wow, really type feeling. Like seriously, launching a basketball into an umbrella? Oh, and if you played the game before, all I have to say is rat torpedo and you'll know what I'm frustrated about. Now this is the part where I originally planned to cover some spoilers and give my opinions on them, but honestly the best way to experience Ghost Trick is to just play it. It's only 9 to 10 hours long, and those 10 hours are filled with intrigue and mystery and consistent goodness. My words won't do it justice. You have to experience it for yourself, so go play it. Right now. No wait, actually finish the video first and then play it. Trust me, I'm almost done here. Despite the fact that it's on Nintendo's dual-screen potato hardware, Ghost Trick shines just as brightly as it did over a decade ago. Its smart writing and charismatic cast of characters captures any player's hearts and hasn't aged a day. It also realizes its ghostly possession fantasy pretty well. If you want to play the game yourself, I'd recommend the iOS version I mentioned earlier. You can play the first 2 chapters for free and then pay a mere $10 for the rest. I played this version in my childhood and it was sound, but I got stuck on chapter 2 because, you know, children are dumb. If you want an authentic DS copy though, that's gonna cost you a pretty penny. About 13,999 pennies to be exact. There's also a certain other swashbuckling method you could employ to play the game that I definitely don't know about whatsoever. Whatever way you decide to go about it, as long as you're playing Ghost Trick, that's good. It's criminal how little this game sold back in 2011, and its dedicated fanbase today is a testament to just how great it was then, and still is now. Hopefully Capcom considers a Switch remaster or something, and if they do, hopefully they market it better than the original game. Maybe then its sales will stand a ghost of a chance. Yes, thank you. I'll be here all week. Alright, I'm back at the site of my death. In a few minutes, my stupid coworker will shoot me dead, so I gotta make this work somehow. Alright, let me give you an update. Oh shoot, scratch that, I only have a few seconds. However, they're now on high alert. Lamp said I can only swap hats, right? So what if which means our mission just got a lot harder. No, that's no good. Wait, I got it. But I got a new plan. How did I pick this up? Oh, that's an excellent idea! Let's go grab some grub and come back later. After all, this party's gonna be here for a few more hours, so we can afford to wait until the target's guards are back down again. What are you talking about? That sounds like a great idea to me, partner. I did it! I successfully altered fate. I prevented my own death, and now I get to enjoy a nice meal. So, I don't really want burgers right now, actually. I'd prefer some chicken. Do you mind? No, I don't mind. Excellent! That means we're here then. Uh-oh.